Okay. Okay, I will officially call the meeting to order. Motion by myself, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand in session. Our first application is East Coast Imperial Properties, Inc., GC 5457. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the first hearing notice.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. TC 5457, East Coast Imperial Properties, LLC, northwest corner of Sunrise Highway, North Service Road, State Road 27, and Hyman Avenue, Bayshore, 0 Muncie Road. Applicant requests a change of zone from Residence A to Residence CA in order to construct a 9 attached single-family dwellings. The environmental impact will also be assessed on this property located in the Bayshore School District.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I just have a few hearing exhibits that I would like to submit into the record. So good evening. On behalf of the owner and applicant, Matthew Ingber from the law firm of Sir Tillman, Allen, Adler, and Hyman, with an office at 90 Merrick Avenue, East Meadow, New York, 11554. I'm here tonight on the change of zone application to amend the subject property zoning designation from the Residence A to Residence CA district to develop 9 single-family attached dwellings and make associated site improvements. So the subject property consists of 4 abutting vacant parcels located on the south side of Muncie Road, approximately 350 feet from the intersection formed by Hyman Avenue in Bayshore. For the record, the parcels are designated as Suffolk County Tax Map Numbers District 500, Section 364, Block 1, Lots 6.1, 7, 9.1, and 12.1. With me this evening, I have the following project experts sitting behind me. I have Matt Allward, PE of R&M Engineering, the project civil engineer. Kyan Cody, PE, also of R&M Engineering, the project traffic engineer. And Caitlin Kayam, AICP, of PW Grosser, our planning expert. So for the record, the documents that I submitted just before my presentation includes a conceptual site plan rendering from R&M Engineering, color building elevations dated June 10th of 2024, which shows the elevations for the 3 proposed structures, as well as 3 letters of support from the neighbors in the surrounding area. So this application seeks to develop the property with 9 attached single-family owner-occupied condominiums with each unit providing 2 bedrooms. For the board's reference, the project and the change of zone request was previously subject for public hearings before the planning board. The first public hearing was held on September 4th of 2024. And the second public hearing was held on October 15th of 2025, where the matter was officially recommended and referred to this board. So during the time between the 2 planning board hearings, the applicant worked closely with the planning department and the fire marshal's office and made numerous revisions to the site plan. The current site plan that's before the board this evening represents the most recent set of revisions and incorporates the comments that were received from the planning department and fire marshal's office. So as shown on the site plan, the applicant proposes to have 3 separate buildings, which and with a total of 9 units, 2 of which will be affordable. The plan also provides a total of 26 on-site parking stalls, where the town code requires a total of 18 stalls. And we reviewed the planning department's recommendations, and we have no objection that we build out 23 stalls and land bank the remaining stalls. In terms of landscaping, the site provides 25.5% will be landscaped, where a minimum of 20% is required. In addition, and as depicted on the color site plan renderings, the development complies with the 100-foot arterial highway setback requirement. Vegetated buffers will also be provided along the perimeter of the property, which will naturally screen the development from the surrounding properties. We note that natural buffers with a depth of 25 feet will be provided along the property's frontage on the Sunrise Highway North Service Road, as well as along the north and easterly portion of the property. It should be noted that the applicant has kept the community informed of this project. Back in July of 2024, a representative for the applicant performed door-to-door outreach to the residents along Muncie Road, Hyman Avenue, and Story Boulevard. And as previously mentioned, 3 letters of support.
Excuse me, there's no speaking from the audience. Let the speaker have the floor.
And the letters in support were provided in the pre-hearing submission. So with that, I would like to have our planning consultant, Caitlin Kayam of PW Grosser, briefly discuss this project.
Good evening, Madam Supervisor and honorable members of the board.
You're going to have to speak into the microphone so we can hear you better. Thank you.
For the record, my name is Caitlin Keim. I'm a certified planner through the American Institute of Certified Planners, and I'm a senior environmental planner for PW Grosser with offices at 630 Johnson Avenue, Suite 7 in Bohemia, New York. This firm previously prepared and submitted a planning analysis report to the planning board. Regarding benefits, the development would be compatible with the existing surrounding land uses and would replace a vacant and underutilized parcel with an aesthetically pleasing residential community in an established, mature residential area with existing infrastructures and facilities. The development is expected to utilize local businesses for landscaping and general property maintenance, as well as support other local services and businesses. With regard to environmental impacts, it has been concluded that there would be no significant adverse environmental impacts. The on-site soils and existing site topography do not present any significant engineering concerns, and depth of groundwater is suitable for drainage structures with adequate separation distance. The site is not located with any special groundwater protection area or any special flood hazard area. There are no state-regulated streams or freshwater wetlands located on or adjacent to the site, nor does the site contain a significant natural community or any federal or state-listed endangered, threatened, rare species or species of special concern. All stormwater runoff would be accommodated and recharged on site, and the proposed development would connect to the public water supply and discharge sanitary waste to the municipal sanitary sewer. The development would respond to documented housing needs other than single-family homes within the town and Suffolk County, and the project would include an affordable component. The project would also be consistent with the smart growth principles published by the Suffolk County Planning Commission to encourage the concentration of resources within developed areas instead of expanding onto undeveloped land. The project site would be suitable for the intended use as the site is situated towards the edge of an established, mature residential neighborhood with existing surrounding infrastructure and near the confluence of Robert Moses Causeway northern entrance and the Sunrise Highway North Service Road. The existing character of the site and the surrounding neighborhood would be best described as a suburban setting with an established, mature residential neighborhood to the north and east, recreation uses to the north, and transportation corridors to the west and the south. The site design incorporates the site design standards of the subdivision and land development regulations of the town and is intended to complement the surrounding residential neighborhood with large landscape buffers, including preserving existing trees and supplemental evergreen plantings, providing for safe and efficient site circulation, as well as adequate off-street parking, and incorporating architectural elements compatible with the surrounding residential structures. The proposed development has also been designed in a way to minimize potential impacts to the adjacent residential uses. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to, are you done? Okay. I'd like to hear from the department.
Thank you, Supervisor Carpenter, members of the board. As stated by the applicant, this project proposes non-age restricted townhouses. This is the second such proposal within the town for this specific land use in the past 20 years. If approved, this would diversify the town's housing stock and would include 2 affordable units. I'm here if you have any questions.
Sean, it says 9 units. The 1 unit on the southern side, the southwest part of the property, is that a double unit?
Yes, there'd be one on the upstairs, one on the downstairs.
And all the rest are up or down?
Correct.
Are there any questions for the department at this point? Certainly,
The one
Councilman
question that,
Gilbert.
and I think it looks resolved in the letter of support, but there was some issues of the neighboring properties wanting landscape and proper fencing and stuff, but that has been addressed and acknowledged by them.
They showed as naturalized area next to the site entrance. I'd invite the applicant to elaborate on what those discussions were. We weren't privy to those discussions, and if so, I would recommend we incorporate those into the covenants and restrictions.
Okay, thank you.
Sean, I'm sorry, you said you weren't privy to the conversations between the applicant and the neighbors,
Correct.
but you did see the email that all of us got today from 2 of the neighbors.
Yes, I did, but it was
Okay, so
lack specifics.
you'd ask the applicant to please expand on the points that were made on that email from the resident to this board.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, any other questions for the department at this point? All right, we have a number of speakers who have signed up. The first being Joanne Yurzak, and just to remind everyone, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, yes, my property is the one that is directly behind the project, 62 Muncie Road. And I have spoken to the developer numerous times, and they did a year and a half ago, send somebody around the whole neighborhood, up and down the streets, bringing a prospectus and everything. If they didn't get it in the back, maybe they weren't home, but they did share the original plans with everybody and getting kind of, but I understand now that there's been a change in the planning, which he shared with me yesterday and today, because of whatever reasons that you wanted things changed. So I'm still not in any objection. I spoke with him about my property line, which is like 135 feet facing what would be the buildings, and he assured me he was going to put up a, whatever I wanted, if I wanted. He suggested an 8-foot fence along the property line, along with some greenery, and I had wanted some of the trees down, because some of those scrub oaks are very tall and half dead, and I'm afraid that they might someday come down on my house. So he assured me he would do that. On the west side, next to where the entrance is going to be, again, he assured me that that was going to be all cleaned out and something nice, either if I wanted a fence or whatever. The only concern that we had was because the park entrance is directly across the street, and I asked him whether or not there was a traffic study. I personally think there should be a light because we live there. My neighbor, most of us here live there. And when they come from underneath the trestle, when they come around that curb, there's people that come pretty quick, and then in the summer you have people making a right and left out of the park, and now you're going to have people coming out of that driveway. He said that the traffic study suggested a stop sign. I don't know if that's sufficient. I also might suggest a speed bump before the park. If you're heading east, when you come under the trestle, maybe put a speed bump there, which would slow down the traffic prior to the park entrance and the entrance that will be the driveway into the development. Other than that, I don't really have an objection, because I have a mess all the time from all those trees and all the, costs me over $1,000 every year just to do cleanups because of it. So I'm happy to have something developed there. You know, the first time it was shut down because they wanted like 18 units and it was rentals and, you know, that I can understand. But these are going to be single-family homes. I don't see any objection. And I think I'm the one most affected by it. So I think I did give him a letter of, like I said, the only thing would be that entrance across the street. I really think maybe a light or some kind of would be more appropriate than just a stop sign, but, okay?
Okay, thank you very much for coming down. Lori Klein?
Hi, everybody. My uncle lived at the house that I reside in now. I bought it. I'm like third generation at my house. I live down the block from all this proposed, but I'm more on the Story Boulevard. We're kind of trapped in between both sides. We're here again, a year later, arguing over the same stuff. I see another new billboard. We had complaints about parking. They seem to have gotten more, but you have 18 people. They're saying two residents in one of these townhouses. Yeah, that's 18 people. They want to have a holiday. I have more than 7 people. You have 7 extra parking spots. Where are they going? If anybody knows Casamento Park, which is a whole nother story in another town meeting, because there are people in and out of that all night. It's a drug haven when it wants to be. You want to put a splash pool in it. We have a soccer field in it now. You have cars upon cars upon cars coming in and out of there. It's never locked. My house backs up against that. We got lights, we got sirens going off in the park. Not to mention, there's no sidewalks. There's kids coming in and out of there. There are kids, when I mean not children, riding bikes. You know, besides them, you have teens coming in and out of playing handball, playing basketball, camp, summer camp. Now splash zones coming in. We were never notified. I was never notified of this last year. Nobody knocked on my door, and I'm home. Nobody knocked on my door to ask me what we felt, what we did. We hear chatter. That's what we got. BOLA came in. The group home came in the end of that block. So now you have the group home right on the corner of what they want to do. Did these 3 houses that are on here, I don't know where you live to be affected by it, but the 3 houses there, where are they coming? When you come out of that entrance, it's a bad show. There's a stop sign right there. It's a school bus zone. You come up the other side, they ride, you know, up Story. That they come down. We have traffic in and out, up and down Muncie all day long. This is something, now you're going to add 18 more people in there to do what? When you have 10 pounds of land and you're trying to shove 30 pounds into it, leave the land alone. It's that simple. This wouldn't happen on South of Montauk. It wouldn't happen here. It's a West Side slip address. It's a Bayshore area. What is, you have a Bayshore labeled at Bayshore, you know, school district. It's not. Fire zone, the group home. You can't even get out on Sunrise, which that whole area from the end of that block to over to go up on the parkway is another zone problem. There's been accidents there, people killed from the runoff. This proposed to me, bad idea. Like I said, you got to have variances, you got to do all of this stuff. It's just, to me, a bad idea. And when you don't live there and you don't go, you don't have your kids riding, I know what it's like. I'm there 33 years. Plus, I grew up on that block with my uncle. It's a resident. We have no families, no other stores around there. It should just be left alone.
Thank you. Oh, God. Next speaker, Candy. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what your last name is. I don't want to mispronounce it.
It's Gusmano. So I've lived there over 30 years. I cannot agree with you more, the person that spoke before me. It's a residence. People, little houses. What are you thinking? You're talking about the runoff with the water. My house is 55 Muncie Road. My cross street is Hyman. We joke in the family and say it's Gusmano Lake every time it rains, okay? And you're telling me it's not going to be affected? Not only that, the traffic, just like the other woman said, coming around that corner. There have been more accidents there than I've seen. And with the adults in the group home now, you can't go down Hyman Avenue and make a right to get onto Sunrise Highway without there being cars after cars after cars. The people at the residential home, they're lining up on Hyman Avenue. They've got their parking area, but there's 4 or 5 cars for workers there. I understand they have to work, but what are you doing? What are you thinking of? This is Bayshore. There's no place where people are going to walk ambulably, and it's not a town. It's not the town of Islip. That's very pretty. It's not Bayshore with the town there. There's nothing. There's Target and King Cullen. Then you talk about the park. Yeah, it's a drug den. And people are in and out left and right with the lights and all that jazz. Somebody is going to get hurt or killed. You can't, we've had this discussion how many times, how many years? Just leave it as undeveloped property and that's it. Because you have a dream of this is you're going to get a lot of money and you're going to get all these people living there for affordable housing. I don't see it. What's going to happen with the schools, with the kids that have to go to schools, with the buses that are going back and forth into the sides? It's an danger. It's just not necessary. And it is going to take away the whole nice little community that we have of single family homes. Thank you.
Thank you. Burma Ruiz.
Hello. My name is Burma Ruiz, and I reside at 1205 Hyman Avenue. I live right across the street from that residential home. I've been living there for 33 years, raised our children. They attended West Islip High School, and for decades, we'd value the quiet atmosphere, light traffic, and community character of our block. I'm here today to voice my strong objection and the concerns of my neighbors regarding the application to construct 9 two-bedroom, 1-bathroom units on the remaining portion of the property located at 1202 Hyman Avenue. This is not the first time our neighborhood has faced a proposed high-density development. A couple of years ago, a plan for a 16-unit rental apartment complex was introduced across the street. The entire neighborhood mobilized against it, attending the town hall meetings to express our concerns and increased traffic and potential strain on local resources. We were relieved when that project was canceled, demonstrating that the town board heard and respected the community's wishes. The property at 1202 Hyman Avenue was eventually developed into an adult group home. Unfortunately, the current use of the property has already introduced a significant traffic condition to our short street. Just this morning, there were 8 employee cars parked across the street. Furthermore, police and fire vehicles are frequently blocking the entire street due to calls at the facility for one particular resident, creating accessibility and safety issues. Adding 9 more residential units to this already stressed area will only exacerbate. Proposal designates these units for exacerbate these problems. While the current proposal designates these units for purchase, nothing is set in stone. And it was stated before, originally, there was supposed to be 1 unit, affordable unit, and the gentleman said it now there's going to be 2. Who's going to say it's not going to be 3 affordable units? Let's see. While the current proposal designates these units for purchase, nothing is set in stone, and the inherent density is concerning. The influx of new residents will crowd our neighborhood and potentially strain the West Islip School District. Our area is already seeing high-density living increase. There's another group home just 100 feet north of me on Muncie Road, with 2 existing facilities across the street, and nearby Hyman Avenue is reaching its capacity for multi-family institutional use. We see what has happened with developing elsewhere in the township. The changes on 3rd Avenue and Bayshore, the transformation of the Touro College property. We are concerned that without careful oversight, even local green spaces like Casamento Park might eventually be targeted for density development. We urge the town to prioritize the established character, safety, and quality of life for long-standing residents of Hyman Avenue.
Thank you. There are no other cards. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, offer a negative declaration.
Okay, but I want to have the
Oh,
department.
so I'll come back up?
Yeah,
Okay, close the public hearing.
have the department. The public hearing is closed, but in the meantime, I would like to have the developer come up and address some of the concerns that were raised by the speakers. Well, I've read off every card. Oh, I apologize. Margaret, come forward. We'll reopen the public portion.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So I am at 60 Muncie, which is located right next to Joanne, so I am 2 houses away from where the entrance would be. I do not have any objections to this. One of my main concerns is also I feel that there should be a light put over there if this goes through. We have Muncie, it becomes like a racetrack at times. It might not have a lot of traffic all the time, but a lot of the cars that do go through are flying. So I definitely feel, and even a speed bump would be, a great thing. But as it stands right now, that woods is a haven for wildlife. It's a dumping ground. So I would love to see a nice development go up over there. I know it will be maintained. So I absolutely have and I was notified the last time, and I did not have any objections the last time either for this. I think it was told that I was not notified, but that's not true. I was notified. I have no objections to it at all. As far as the group home, I'm literally right behind that group home. But that should be a separate issue. It should have been an issue prior to them going in. I don't think that group home has anything to do with what this project is. It's two different things to discuss. And the park. The park is, I feel that park should get locked up at night. They're in there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing donuts. And there is a gate there that should be locked every single night, but it is not for some reason. But that's a separate issue as far as I'm concerned. That has really not an issue with this. 9 units, 18 additional people. I don't think that's going to create a big traffic jam or, congestion. I'm glad to see that they added the additional parking spaces because originally I think they had 18. Now they increased it. So as long as they have sufficient parking for company, I'm totally for it. And that's it.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Motion to close the public portion? Motion. Second? It is closed. Okay, I would ask the applicant to come forward and address some of the concerns that were raised.
For
You
the
can
record,
begin well, no, I'll ask the department. Go ahead.
for the record, Kean Cody with the firm of Robinson and Muller Engineering, our office at 50 Elm Street in Huntington, New York. I'd like to discuss the concerns on traffic. This project, as it's been stated, is 9 single-family attached homes. In order to estimate the traffic generated by the proposed project, we utilized the Institute of Transportation Engineers, or the ITE Trip Generation Manual, the latest edition, which is the 12th edition. Based off that information, we would expect that the proposed project would generate a maximum of 5 trips during a single peak hour. It would be 3 entering and 2 exiting trips. We believe this is a de minimis amount of traffic. 5 trips is the equivalent of about 1 car leaving that driveway every 12 minutes. We don't think it would be a noticeable increase in traffic in the area, nor would contribute to any accident activity in the area. Regarding the parking activity, we utilize the Institute of Transportation Engineers once again, in this case, the Parking Generation Manual. The 5th edition, which is the latest edition, we utilize the 85th percentile rate, which is the highest average rate provided for that use. And for a 9-unit single-family attached development, at 2.27 vehicles parked per unit, it would be the equivalent of 21 vehicles parked, where we are providing more than that. As such, I believe more than adequate parking is also being provided on site.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to invite the department to come up. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening.
If you would, I'm sorry, you had some questions, Councilman.
You good?
Sean, one of the issues that came up as it respects traffic was whether a traffic light or a stop sign would be more appropriate. Who makes the determination on traffic lights?
That would be the Division of Traffic Safety in the Department of Public Works.
Is Muncie a town road or a county road?
It is a town road.
And the issue of,
Can I just go back to that? As far as deciding whether it be a stop sign or a traffic light, there are certain warrants or requirements that the state puts out, whether a stop sign is appropriate at a location or a traffic light is appropriate at a location. And if we don't adhere to that, it could open us to liability if there are accidents. So again, it can't just be, oh, we should have a stop sign. It has to meet the state warrant.
I guess put another way, there's someone here who works at the town, we all know her name, Alicia Bullock, who is very well skilled, trained, full-time job, goes through training and seminars and knows all of the manuals on the National Transportation Safety Act and all of those things. It is her job to determine whether or not a traffic light or a stop sign would be the appropriate traffic control device for this particular area.
That's correct.
And she has made the determination, and I think shared that with the applicant and the applicant's traffic engineer who just spoke, right?
Yeah, she's had no indication that a traffic light would be appropriate at that
Next question
location.
I had was, there was some discussion, I think the last speaker, one of the immediate neighbors brought it up more appropriately, that some of the issues of being, and I can understand why, because they're neighbors living in the same community, but some of the issues are being mixed together. Does the town have any control over the siting of group homes in communities?
No, just to kind of generalize, the state has oversight on that, and if they are permitted in single-family dwellings, however the town zones them, so.
Yeah, having a son who lives in a group home, I can tell you that the only qualifier of whether or not a group home should or should not be permitted in a community is whether or not a particular neighborhood has too many, correct?
Correct.
Other than that, they get built as of right.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, Sean, I just have one question too, because the one speaker was very concerned about this home ownership and then rentals. The covenant and restrictions are clearly that these are for purchase
That's correct.
units. Correct. And they wouldn't be able, they'd have to reapply if it was going to switch to rentals.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? I did want to address something that was brought up that really doesn't affect the application, but about Casamento Park and the gate being locked. I totally agree, and I've made a note to request public safety generally locks all of the facilities, and if the gate is able to be secured, it will be. If not, we'll make sure. Yeah, no, it may have just dropped off the rotation. Yeah. And also to the issue of teenagers or people going in there and speeding and everything, it was reported, and if you notice, in fact, I was there today, there is a traffic crime observing unit that was moved there just for that very purpose. So it's being filmed, and we are aware of what's going on there. Any other questions or comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, offer a negative declaration, and put the resolution up for its adoption.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Thank you. Okay, we will move then to the second public hearing.
Item number 2, TC 5458, 161 East LLC, north side of Montauk Highway, State Road 27A, Bay Shore, 11 First Avenue. Applicant requests a modification of covenants and restrictions associated with TC 5258 to remove the provision authorizing revocation of the certificate of occupancy for failure to maintain site improvements on a multifamily development. The environmental impact will also be assessed on this property located in the Bay Shore School District.
Is there anyone here to speak on this?
No, I don't
Sean,
believe
you're
so.
it.
I'm it. So I'd like to address both this application and the subsequent application
Right.
because nearly identical issues. And what the applicants are asking for is simply to propose to remove the language in the covenants that calls for the revocation of a certificate of occupancy on a residential property due to lack of property maintenance. This language has been problematic for financial lenders and is concerned for residents of a multifamily community who may not have direct control over the maintenance and be subject to the cooperation of either a landlord or the management company. The town does have other tools to enforce the maintenance on residential properties, and the proposed change in the covenant is typical of what is recorded against multifamily residential properties as of a few years ago. So the staff does recommend that the board modify that covenant on this application and the following.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Now, you were addressing both of them. That vote was just on the first one, 54, 58, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so on 54, 59.
I make a motion to close the public hearing, issue a negative declaration, and offer the resolution.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
By Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And there is no further business to appear before us this evening. A motion to adjourn. Thank you. I'll second that. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.